Welcome to What's Going On with Lady D today. I'm your host, Lady D.
Don't forget Purple Sunday. We're looking for you to be part of the 60 churches in the city of Cleveland that will participate in Purple Sunday. We're looking for parishioners to be adorned in the purple. We're looking for you to get and share awareness about this disease called Alzheimer's disease. We look forward to seeing you on Purple Sunday. Take care.
Well, welcome to my show today, Reverend Frederick Nichols from the Alzheimer's Association. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Lady D?
Excellent. I'm so excited to have you on because you're coming here today to share some wonderful but very important information to our listeners.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to share this information. We got to get the word out in the community. It's very important.
Excellent. So before we go talking about that, I want you to tell our listeners a little bit something about yourself.
Wow, something about myself.
I know
didn't
it's a
expect
lot.
that. Yeah, you caught me off guard. Hey, I tell you the good part about me is April 23rd. I'm celebrating 40 years of marriage. So
Excellent.
I've got an anniversary coming up in just a couple of days.
Oh, that is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Excellent. We should share some secrets of how you managed to keep that marriage going that long.
Yeah, I've learned to listen real good and do what I'm told to do.
Really?
That's the secret.
So is that it's really true about a happy wife make a happy life?
Happy wife makes a happy life. Absolutely. It's true.
Is it really
I'm
true?
I'm here to tell you, it's true. Yeah, 40 years.
Okay, then it works.
It works.
All
Yeah,
right, fellas,
yeah,
you hear
yeah,
that?
Yeah.
Take it from the Reverend. He knows, okay? So congratulations on your anniversary.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we're going to jump right on in here, and we're going to be talking about the Alzheimer's disease. Exactly what is it?
So the Alzheimer's disease is a progression of aging. It has an effect on the mind where you don't function the way you used to function, where it affects your daily living. Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. Dementia is another term that you'll hear all the time.
Okay.
Dementia is the overall umbrella for mind diseases or brain diseases, cognitive diseases of the brain. Alzheimer's is the most common form of the disease that happens to us at twice the rate as it does other communities. In other words, black folk get this disease at twice the rate of our counterparts.
Why is that?
Well, we really don't know exactly what it is. You know, there have been many studies that have been done on the disease. Part of it, we talk about the social determinants of health, our backgrounds, our upbringing, the places that we've lived, the way our lifestyles, you know, the things that we eat, the things that we do, all plays a part. You know, I'm told, and research has proven, that we're supposed to treat the brain the same way we treat the heart. So exercise, you got to exercise the mind, you got to exercise the heart, right? You've got to do things to keep the mind sharp every day. You know, read, study, think, you know, those sorts of things, have conversations, puzzles, all the things that I used to see my grandparents doing, my mother doing.
Yes.
I understand now why it was important to do, keep the mind sharp.
Yes, yes, yes. So that is, I want to add, so like sometimes, you know, you may be walking around in the house and you're like, what was I finna do? Now, could that be a sign? I mean, because I'm still a young woman and that happens sometimes to me.
Well,
So-
I think. Let's be honest. This happens to us all. You know,
That's
you've
okay.
gone looking for your glasses, and they're right there on your face. Looking for your keys, and they're in your hand. Right?
Yeah, right.
Well, you know, that's not the sign. But
Okay.
when that begins to happen more frequently,
Yes.
where it begins to affect your lifestyle, where it makes you late for work, right? Where it makes you not able to do the things that you would normally do. where it makes you angry, where you become frustrated, take it out, your anger on other people, then becomes a time where you really probably need to go and tell the doctor, hey, I'm having some issues thinking, I'm having some issues remembering. Have those real conversations. And those conversations, that's part of the problem, is those conversations are difficult for us to have in the African American community.
That is something. I know it's very difficult for us to have conversations about pretty much anything when it comes down to dealing with health. And there is so many different advocacies out here trying to bring awareness in our community about our own bodies.
That's correct.
Because we are taking a beating, we're punishing our bodies, not to mention to say the type of foods that we're eating and, the system, I call it the system, they okay everything because it's fast, it's processed. They know it's no good for us, but it sells.
It sells, right.
Okay, so on one hand, we want you to be healthy, but on the other hand, we don't want to remove the garbage that's being sold to you.
That comes with food deserts too. In the inner cities, just having quality food, having wholesome vegetables, having quality meats that we eat.
Right.
We have to be careful and cautious of what we put in our bodies.
Right.
The body's still the temple.
Right.
And so we have to be careful of what we put in the temple. Don't make me start preaching here now.
Well, that's
hey,
we're gonna
watch it. You better watch it. You better watch it.
Well,
right?
we'll bring it on because
yeah.
this is what we're having real conversations here because this is serious.
It's serious.
And then when you have this disease or experience this, it becomes a barrier on whoever it is in your family or your caretaker.
So as I said a few minutes ago, our community is in major denial that it's happening to us.
Okay.
We say our loved ones are just getting old. We say that these things happen to us. Alzheimer's is not a normal part of aging.
Okay.
It's not a normal part of aging. Let me say that again. It's not a normal part of aging. We have to acknowledge that there are some things that are going on with the loved ones. One of the reasons why I think that we're in denial is because we don't want to really acknowledge the fact that our lives are getting ready to change. When I say getting ready to change, the caregiver loses the individual they're caring for not once but twice.
Okay.
Let me speak on that just a little bit.
Yes.
So in life, you have an individual that gave birth to you, that has been your caretaker for years, and now they wake up and they don't know who you are. They're combative with you. They're fighting with you. They don't remember the place that they're in. They're not comfortable with you.
Right.
So as a child, as a caretaker, you're losing because this person now doesn't know who you are.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, this disease, it ends at death. It ends with death. Alzheimer's will take you out of here. It will kill you. It's killing more in our community than prostate cancer and breast cancer combined.
Really?
There are currently over 220,000 people who are living in the state of Ohio with this disease.
My.
The caretakers are the champions here because caretaking is not an 8-hour-a-day job. It's a 24-hour-a-day job, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And oftentimes, although it may be the matriarch of the family, let's be real, there's only one or two in the family who does all the work. There's that primary caretaker.
Yeah.
And, the caretaker, in taking care of the individual, sometimes they fail to take care of themselves.
Yes.
They're experiencing the loss as they live. They're watching their loved ones fade away in front of them, deteriorate in front of them. The disease gets progressively worse. Their loved ones are becoming combative. They lose right before their eyes. They're watching the deterioration happen every day.
Yeah, and that's got to be so emotional, and they need, where can the caregiver get some help or get a break from taking care of their loved one when they need to? Do they have that available?
Yes, we do. I'm glad you asked that question. We currently have a program called our Caregiver Relief Program at the Alzheimer's Association. We have funds available for up to 16 hours a week respite care.
That's awesome.
I learned a very valuable lesson about caretaking and caregivers. Take a break. It's okay.
Yes.
In order to take care of someone, you first have to learn to take care of yourself. In order to be good to somebody, you have to first be good to yourself.
Yes.
Many caretakers are walking around in fear or shame that I can't leave my loved one alone. Historically in the black family, we don't typically put our loved ones in nursing homes or those kind of facilities.
Right.
It's okay to take a break. It's okay to have somebody come in so that you can go out and get you something to eat. Go out and get your hair done. Go out and have a meal. Go
Right.
out and just relax. You're doing this job 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Take advantage of the program.
Okay. Yeah.
Not only do we have the caregiver relief program, we have a couple other things that I think the Alzheimer's Association just has not been known for as much as we need to be known for, but I'm here getting the word out in our community. One is educational opportunities.
Okay.
So we're bringing awareness in the African American community, the Hispanic community, the LGBTQ communities about the disease.
Okay.
We're sharing that you're not alone. We're sharing that early detection is important. We have two things that I think are very important. One is our education series, where we talk about the warning signs of the disease, things to look for. Where we talk about accessing services that you need. Where we
Okay.
talk about having those real conversations with the person that you're caring for. When do you take the keys? When do you tell your mother or your loved one you can't drive anymore?
Yeah. Yes. Yep. I do understand. I knew someone, a friend of mine, his grandmother, we watched her go through that. And it came to a point one day she drove and she didn't realize where she was
she
anymore.
was.
So they had to remove the keys. She could no longer drive her van. And then eventually she could no longer be in the house by herself because, she'll cut something on to cook and forget about
Forget
it.
all about it. Absolutely.
So eventually, her home that she was attached to forever, and she was a nurse. She eventually, they had to move her in, put her in a nursing home until his mother was able to retire and bring her home with her to take care of her until she passed.
And how difficult that is to tell, your loved ones you can't live by yourself anymore. You gotta move from the place that you've been in for the last 50 years.
Right.
What a challenge. What an impact on them, even in dealing with the disease.
Yes.
They're comfortable in their settings. They're comfortable in their surroundings.
Yes.
So we have our educational series. The other piece that we have, which I think is a great piece for our caregivers, is our support groups.
Okay.
We have support groups where caregivers of loved ones get together, have those conversations. What do you do when this happens in the middle of the night? Who do you call? Who do you talk to? It's important to know that you're not the only one, and that's part of the situation for caregivers is they feel that they're by themselves. They're afraid to talk about what's going on. You're not the only one who's going through this. There are other people that are around you who've gone through and are going through what you're going through right now and are willing to just give you some helpful tidbits. Of course,
Yes.
not every situation is the same, but certainly to know that you're not alone, that you have somebody to call, you have somebody to support you, you have someone who understands.
And that's so important.
That's so important.
That's everything.
That's in life, period.
Yes, yes.
To really have somebody say, I understand what you're going through, who's actually going through it.
Correct.
So the education piece, the caregiver support groups, the support groups that we have. Then we have what we call our 24-hour support line. And if I'm talking too much, cut me
No,
off.
no,
I
no,
told
no,
you
no,
it's
no,
a
because this
dangerous
is important.
thing
No,
to give a black preacher a microphone. How dangerous that is. Yeah.
But no, please give out this information because that was going to be my next question. Is there a number that you're going through this in the middle of the night and you can't wait till in the morning when the lines come on? Is there someone 24/7 that you can call? What's the number for that?
Yes, so we have two things you can do. You can call our local number, 216-342-5607. That's 216-342-5607. Or you can go to our website, alz.org.
Okay.
We have a person on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We have care consultants who will walk you through, who will provide some direction, education for you, no matter what time of day and night it is that you need support. Just pick up the phone, call.
So is that helpline I saw, which was 800-272-3900?
That's it.
All right.
That's
Get a
it.
pencil and paper and take that number down, because you never know. You may just have a general question because you may think this is happening to someone that's in your home or someone that you know. Because I also experienced, I didn't realize that my big mom was going through that. And it says she has a tendency of repeating the same thing over and over again. And I wanted to know if that was like one of the signs so that she wouldn't forget. And then I would see her the next day or something, and she would ask me the same thing, or she would say something like, I didn't know you had a daughter. How you never told me about that? And I says, yes, I did. And then that was, that was going through that. How many stages is it of Alzheimer's?
Oh, wow.
Because I was, looking into that.
So there's several different stages. What we say is early detection is important. When you see your loved ones begin to experience these symptoms, have a conversation with them, have a conversation with the primary care physician.
Okay.
Oftentimes we send them, our loved ones that is, to the doctor, and we wait for them to come home and tell us
Okay.
what happened, right? We depend on them to go and say, doctor, I don't remember what I came to tell you. They're not going to say that, right?
Right.
So we have to be willing to share that information. We have to be willing to go sit down with them. The disease gets progressively worse. I've seen people, and there's no particular time that any particular stage sets in, because I've seen some people who've been living with the disease for 15 years.
Okay.
15 years. It's a long, dreadful, terrible disease that gets worse with time. Can I say that one person in 5 years will be the same place that another person will be? No.
Right. Everyone's different.
Everybody's different with the
Stages
disease.
are different. How early does this disease take effect?
Wow. Now, that's another good question. I'm glad you asked that question. It really has no age.
Okay.
There are people who have been diagnosed with this disease as young as 40 years of age.
My.
There are some other factors that I need to share, especially in our
Please
community.
Please do.
That's important. If you suffer from hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, if you've ever had a stroke, you're at risk for early onset of this disease.
Really?
Let me rewind.
Okay.
If you've ever had hypertension or have hypertension,
Yes.
diabetes, let me say high blood pressure, or the sugar as we call it in the
Okay,
community.
right. Talk
The
to them
sugar
in layman
diabetes,
terms so
right,
they
right.
understand
So they
what
understand
you're saying.
what I'm saying. The
Yes.
sugar, right?
Yes.
If you've ever had a stroke, mini stroke, heart conditions, you're at risk for early onset of this disease. I share, Lady D, when I started this position about 18 months ago, I was in a training learning about the disease, the impacts of the disease, getting all the information that I could
Right.
about the disease. And as I was sitting, gathering the information about the disease, I was sitting in the training saying, I got to get this information to somebody. I got to get it to somebody. Got to get it to somebody. And I'm sitting here thinking, who is that person that I got to get this information to? After I got out of the first day's training, I said, wow, that's you. You suffer from some of these conditions, right? Yeah, you suffer from some of these conditions
Right.
that puts you at risk for the
Okay.
disease. The other piece about that, which is important, Lady D, that our community fails to acknowledge, is clinical trials.
I was going to ask you about those clinical trials, because there's a lot of pushback on clinical trials now because of what happened in the past, and
That's all we can think about is the Tuskegee trials, right?
Yes.
Things that happened.
it
to our
left a
foreparents.
mark. It left marks.
It left marks on us. But let's be honest, a whole lot of things left marks on us, but we don't get away from it.
Right.
We've had heart attacks from eating too much fried food, but we haven't stopped eating it, right?
Right.
We discovered cirrhosis or came down with cirrhosis of the liver from drinking, but we didn't stop drinking, right? So clinical trials are important. Why are they important? They're important because if we're not, as a people, as an African American culture, involved in clinical trials,
How would they know?
how would we know what kind of drugs to create for us?
Yes, yes,
Our systems, our makeup, our biology is different than our European brothers and sisters.
correct.
So it's important for us, if we want cures, to be a part of trials. They're not using us for guinea pigs, right?
Right, right.
And here's the reality. If I don't help myself through the clinical trials, I'm laying the foundation that maybe I'm helping my son or my grandson
Someone else.
or a generation that comes behind me.
Right, right.
So it's important for us to do it. Not all clinical trials are invasive. You know, there are some just studies of the mind where they'll ask you a series of questions. There's others where they'll do, you know, different tests on you, draw blood,
I was
run
going to ask you,
scans.
can you find it out if you went to get a blood test, have your primary care doctor test you for that through blood?
So they can do that. The challenge becomes, you know, primary care physicians can do it.
Okay,
The challenge becomes insurances don't want to pay for it, right? Don't want to pay for everything.
oh, okay.
So what we do is what we recommend, which is at no cost to the individuals, are clinical trials.
Okay,
There are all kind of clinical trials. We have clinical trials at our association. We're partnered with Case Western Reserve, who has a clinical trial study. University Hospital has clinical trials. Cleveland Clinic has clinical trials. So there's a lot of organizations, health systems that provide clinical trials for free.
okay.
And not only are they free, there's a small compensation that goes with it. You know, they'll give you bus fare, they'll pay you a stipend for each, you know, procedure
Right.
and process of the trial. They're not paying you, they're
Right.
just saying thank you
Right.
to be a part of the trial.
Correct.
But again, I say the life that you save just could be, it might be your own.
Well, let's talk about, I know you have a major event coming up the end of this month, April 30th.
Purple Sunday.
Purple Sunday.
Purple Sunday.
Now, Purple Sunday, tell our audience about Purple Sunday.
Yeah, let me do this. You know, Amand, who's a Cavs announcer, grew up and was baptized in my church, and I think he learned, you know, when he comes on, when he says Cleveland, make some noise.
Right.
So I'm gonna say this: Cleveland, make some noise. Purple Sunday is coming up Sunday,
All right.
April the 30th, all over the city of Cleveland.
Cleveland, we've got about
Over 70 churches now that have signed up to be part of Purple Sunday. What is Purple Sunday? Purple Sunday is something that we've adopted from our home office. They started a Purple Sunday with the AME Church, doing national awareness presentations, information. Purple Sunday is an opportunity for parishioners, for people in the community to go back to that trusted source. That place called the church, right?
The church, yes. Okay.
Before there were social work programs and before there were community organizations, there was always that place called the church where people can go and know they can get good answers. So what I've asked pastors to do on Purple Sunday is to take about 10 or 15 minutes out of their morning worship service and discuss this disease. I've given them talking points, early detection, clinical trials, when to seek help. Just bring awareness to the community. So many of us are sitting with people in our pews who have the disease, who are suffering in silence. Some of our parishioners are caretakers and have never said it to us because of fear and because of shame of the stigma that the disease brings with them.
Okay.
So Purple Sunday is that opportunity to come together, to hear from the trusted voice, from the pulpit or their lay leaders or whoever it is, when we bring awareness to this terrible disease, when we connect you with resources. Here's the other piece that we're looking to get out of Purple Sunday.
Okay.
I'm looking for each church to have a health ambassador or pastor to have a health ambassador so that if any parishioner, community member, friend, enemy knows someone with this disease, that they can pick up the phone and call the Alzheimer's Association so that you're not suffering by yourself. We're here for you. We're here to help. We want you to know that we're here to help.
Yes.
So we're crying out, Cleveland, make some noise.
Make
There-
some
we gotta say,
noise.
make some noise, right? Purple Sunday's in the house, Sunday, April 30th, all over the city of Cleveland.
That is awesome. So don't forget to get, and if someone, any other organizations besides the churches,
Yes, so we're in the,
how can they get involved in this?
so we're in the community. We're at local rec centers. We're at local senior and adult day programs in the community. We're at local organizations in the community. We're doing health fairs. Whatever you have, you got a barbecue and you want us to come out. You got a family reunion, you want us to come out.
Okay,
Give
so
us a
you'll
call.
come out, okay.
We'll come out, we'll send someone out, and we want you to take advantage of the services that we have. We'll come wherever you are. It's important for us.
Excellent. Give that number one more time.
216-342-5607. 216-342-5607. Or you can go to our website, alz.org.
Excellent. And please take action today, because tomorrow could be a little too late. So make sure you call their number, the 24/7 hotline, 800-272-3900. And now this is what's going on today. Thank you for being a guest here.
Thank you for having us, Lady D.
Awesome.
We certainly appreciate you.
Yes, and we'll see you out there in the community doing great works.
We're going to be working together.
Excellent.
Thank
Yes.
you, and God bless you.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Welcome to What's Going On with Lady D today. I'm your host, Lady D.
Don't forget Purple Sunday. We're looking for you to be part of the 60 churches in the city of Cleveland that will participate in Purple Sunday. We're looking for parishioners to be adorned in the purple. We're looking for you to get and share awareness about this disease called Alzheimer's disease. We look forward to seeing you on Purple Sunday. Take care.